Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
This is how that clock driven chart looks like, right? For example, it starts with 0 hours, 24 hours. You see here at this is rainfall in millimeters. The x-axis is time, y-axis is depth of rainfall in millimeters. At 0 hours to this is every 2 hours, right? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, every 1 hour there is a. So after half an hour, the rainfall starts. So the pen has increased. The tipping bucket has reached its maximum. So the vertical line is the pen is coming down. Why it is coming down? The bucket is emptied, right? So gradually again it is increasing. That means it is a continuous rainfall, right? And suddenly the pen jumps because it may be a ice fall or the pen might have been not working, right? Or there may be a jerk. So gradually it increases. Then after 24 hours, this is for next day, right? So in this 24, there are 4 times the pen has come down. That means 4 times it has reached 10. So 40 mm in 24 hours. But this is not in understandable form by any common man. So the hydrologists try to explain this in different way, right? So this is a graphical, and in real life this is how it looks like, right? You can see this chart, right? The date is also there, 16th January 19, right? The pen is gradually increasing. When it reaches the 10 mm, it came back to the zero condition, right? How to, what are all the rainfall data or rainfall information we can collect from this automated weather, automatic recording type? 5 different parameters you can get. You can get hourly precipitation, or even less than hourly also you will be able to do that. You can get daily siphon is working, or we can get the duration during which there is no rainfall, and we can get the maximum intensity of precipitation and its time period, right? Let us do a small problem in this, right? Let us see, I have converted this same figure into a tabular form, right? Time period, every hour I have made it 8, 9, 10, 11 to next day 8 o'clock. Then cumulative plot is you pick up here 8 o'clock 0, then 10 o'clock it is 1 mm, right? So please note this chart is a cumulative, right? And you can see that at 13th hour there is no 13 to 15 there is no rainfall. That is why the pen is horizontal, right? Like that I have converted these graphical values into tabular format. Since this is cumulative, the difference between particular time and previous time step will give you every hour what is the precipitation. So the third row is the hourly precipitation of each hour. The maximum of this will give you the maximum intensity of rainfall. For example, we have around 1.5 mm. 1.8 mm is the maximum intensity of rainfall which has happened at night 2 o'clock, right? So these are all the answer which I can get. I can see the total precipitation. One time the siphon has acted, second time the rainfall was only up to 8 mm in 24 hours. So the total rainfall is 18 mm in that day. The time when siphon was operated, right, where it becomes 0 again, that is at 8 o'clock. Okay, then time of no precipitation, totally 4 out of 24 hours, 4 hours there is no rainfall, and maximum intensity also we have observed, right? So from a rainfall of mm per day, in Siemens rain gauge. Now with advanced instruments, we are able to estimate per hour or even per minute also we can estimate, right? But before going into the further utilization of this rainfall data, whether how many rain gauges are needed to measure this precipitation? Because the aerial extent of rain gauge rainfall is not uniform. You might have realized when you are here last 3 years, when it was raining in your hostel, there may not be any rain at the department or no rain at the gate. But when there is heavily raining here in the department, there may not be any rainfall at hostel. Or it may be raining at both the location, but the intensity may be different. So all these things can be observed only when you are able to measure, right? So then how many rain gauges I need to install to get an average rainfall over that space? There are 2-3 points, right? Based on which we decide the rain gauge network. The number of rain gauges in a given area or in a river basin, we call it as a rain gauge network, right? The first point on which this rain gauge network depends is based on the standards, right? First, World Meteorological Organization, right? WMO. It is the first organization which recommends for almost all countries. It's from UN. It's common for all the countries where individual countries doesn't have any standards. And this recommendation is based purely on the topography of the land. So WMO recommends the rain gauge network based on topography of the land. It says that for tropical zones, Mediterranean temperate, one station is sufficient for every 600 to 900 kilometers square, right? If it is a mountainous region, then one station every 100 to 250 kilometers square. One is ideal, second one is acceptable. In arid polar zones, 1500 to 10,000 kilometers square, depending upon the feasibility. And please note, the cost of this rain gauge is very small, but installing it and measuring the rainfall regularly at given interval is a costly affair, right? You need to appoint a rain gauge network manager, rain gauge. He has to go daily, measure it, record it, and then put it in the data logger. Right? This is WMO recommendation. But in India, we have Indian standard, right? WIS 4987, which recommends the rain gauge network in our country. It says that in plains, 520 kilometers square, one station is enough. Or average elevation up to 1000 meters, 250 to 400 kilometers square. That means it reduces to half of plains. In very heavy hilly region, it is half of that average elevation. That means one station per every 130 kilometer square. So this standard recommendations are based on topography. But in 500 kilometers square, you may have 5-6 cities. Then there will be large variations, especially in tropical country. We have large variation even in 100 kilometers square. Then how to fix the number of rain gauge station? Then it depends upon how much is the permissible error in estimating the average rainfall. Suppose if this is my area, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These red dots are rain gauges. These are all hilly regions, right? It's a contour. How many rain gauges are required here? Suppose if this is my river basin, as a manager, I can assume, okay, I can accept a uniformity error in rainfall measurement 10%. That means the difference in between the measurement of uniformity, it is not measurement error. Please understand, it is not measurement error, it is uniformity measurement. how it will become uniform when I measure each and every location where all variations are caught, but it is highly uneconomical. So I can accept 10% error in uniformity measurement. Then CV is, I have already installed certain number of rain gauge station. What is the variation in that measurement? CV variation is nothing but standard deviation by average, right? That is called coefficient of variation. So based on the adequacy, the adequacy of rain gauge based on accepted permissible error in uniformity measurement is with a simple formula n is equal to CV by epsilon, where n is optimal number of rain gauges, CV is coefficient of variation among the measured rain gauge stations, epsilon is the permissible error in measuring the uniformity to the square. Right? CV is estimated average by, standard deviation by average. Okay. Let us do one simple formula. Take your pen, pencil, notebook. Please write down this question. The question is, I want to estimate whether the number of rain gauges which I have installed in a river basin is sufficient or not. Okay. So in this case, I am already having a rain gauge stations of 6. I have installed 6 rain gauge station and now measuring. So I found that the rainfall at this rain gauge station in a year is this much, 82 mm, 102, because that's the variation. Then I thought that, okay, if this is the basin, if I put 6 rain gauge station, everywhere it should be same rainfall, na? But here it varies between 82 mm to almost 180 mm, almost more than the twice. So then I got doubt whether I am catching the uniformity of rainfall exactly or not. Then I try to re-estimate whether my number of rain gauge station is sufficient or not. So I assume that 10% error in estimation of uniformity, mean rainfall, is accepted. So then I take this average, then I take the standard deviation. The standard deviation, you can use your calculators. The coefficient of variation works out to be 0.259 and 10% error is 0.1. So 0.295 by divided by 0.1 to the square works out to be 8.7. So you cannot have 0.7 station. Always go for the next higher number. So even if it is 8.1, you should have gone for 9 station. So it says that 9 station are the optimum number of rain gauge station in this basin. Okay. But already how many stations I have? 6. So what is the additional stations require? 3. Okay. So there may be 2 questions based on this calculation. First one is optimal number of rain gauges. Optimal number of rain gauges are 9. Additional rain gauges required in this basin is 3 because already I have 6. So this is how you need to answer if a question is asked. So this is second one, right? The first method of locating the rain gauge is based on topography. Second one is based on percentage allowable uniformity estimation. The third method is based on the economics or the importance of the location. Even though we have several rain gauge stations maintained by IMD. IMD stands for India Meteorological Department. Always we write it as Indian Meteorological Department. No, that is not Indian Meteorological Department. It should be written as India Meteorological Department. You can go to their website and see their official name. Never write as a hydrological student of Jyoti Prakash that it is Indian Meteorological Department. It is India Meteorological Department. That is a central government agency which install and maintain rain gauge stations all over our country, right? They maintain more than 3,000 rain gauge station all over the country. Then the third way, what we have to estimate, locate the number of rain gauge network is based upon the importance, right? I told, for example, an airport, a seaport, or a collector office, or an governor's bungalows, or secretariats. All these locations, there will be a rain gauge. In fact, a meteorological station maintained by the appropriate agency. Sometimes agricultural engineering department, they also maintain. In fact, in every district, every collector office, there will be a rain gauge station, right? Then every taluk also there may be a rain gauge station if the variations are. Agricultural engineering department, they also maintain rain gauge station. So various departments measure rainfall at various locations depending upon the importance of a location. For example, Mumbai, we have airport and Colaba, only two. But after 2005 flooding in Mumbai region, our BMC has installed more than 36 rain gauge stations in its region because it could not measure the variation within 156 kilometers square with only two stations. Because when it is raining at Colaba, no rain at Santa Cruz, and when it is raining at Santa Cruz, no rain at Colaba. That is why this year they are able to measure the rainfall very accurately and avoided a lot of flooding also, right, by appropriate action. So that is about rain gauge measurement. Now what happened? I have installed a number of rain gauge throughout the basin or throughout the country and started measuring the data. What is the use? It's a natural process happening and you are measuring every day. And as a human being, when you measure, you don't remember it, so you maintain a record. And in the record, you write the date and amount of rainfall. So you are writing down it's for every day. And this data is called as time series data. A time series data is nothing but any physical quantity you have listed with respect to time, a time of occurrence. Once we have this time series data, the knowledge of mathematician wakes up and we do wonders with this time series data. What are all the wonders we can do? First, I look this time series. I can plot it and see how this rainfall varies over the period of time. And when somebody asks you a question, what is the rainfall in your region? Now I cannot say that 1st January this much, 2nd January this much, up to 30th December this much rainfall. What I do, I club everything and say that my average or my annual rainfall of this year is this much. If you have measured it for 20 years, 30 years, take the record of 30 years. Every year you add, you get 30 points. Take the average of these 30 points and you get one number. And you say that my normal rainfall in this region is X mm. So then they understand. Okay, the depth of rainfall over this region is 1000 mm or 1050 mm. That is the purpose. That means the observed data has to be presented to the others so that others will understand what this data is. But when I want to present it, I am recording it at the first place. When I see the data, there are several days the data is not measured. Rainfall. There is a difference between zero value rainfall and missing data. Zero rainfall means there is no rainfall. Hyphen means the data is missing. That means the data may be missed because rain gauge may not be working or it may be affected by some other external means. So the data was not available. If 1 year data is not available, then we can easily estimate by using different methods. But if a particular day rainfall is not available, then there are several other methods. right? They call it as averaging the previous day to next day, or using the graph method. To at present, when the missing data is less than annual, then we have different optimization techniques. Artificial neural network is used, genetic algorithm is used, different methods to fill up this missing data alone. Let us assume that only annual 1 year one particular station is not working. How to estimate that annual rainfall of that station? There are 3-4 methods, right? The first method is arithmetic average method. What is this arithmetic average? In a river basin, let us take that same example of 9 rain gauge station. I have 9 rain gauge station. In a particular year, one station is not working. So I want to estimate what is the annual rainfall at that station. So what we'll do, you take the average of other 8 rain gauge stations working, give that as the average rainfall in that 9th station. So statistically, your average remains same. But people say that well, average may be same, but there is a variation. The variation is nothing but my normal rainfall. So each station has its own average rainfall, that is for 30 years. You estimate the ratio. P1 is the rainfall of a particular year at station 1, and N1 is the normal rainfall of that particular station 1. Take this ratio, and this ratio, average of this ratio should be equal to the rainfall normal ratio of that missing data. So Px by Nx is the missing data, but Nx is average rainfall of normal rainfall of that station is available. So then for a particular year, it is Nx by M. M is N minus 1 into this ratio. And this method gives a better picture than arithmetic average method, right? So I have given a example also. There are 4 rain gauge stations, A, B, C and D. This is their normal rainfall. And in a particular year, the last station, D, was not operated. So how will you estimate this? First one, you omit this T, take only these 3 values, 91.11, 72.23, 79.89, add it and divide it by 3. That will be equal to 81.08 centimeter by arithmetic average method. But when I work it with normal ratio method, that means 91.11 divided by 80.97 plus 72.23 divided by 67.59 plus 79.89 divided by 76.28. Whatever the ratio comes, add. You divide all these 3 ratio by 3 because there are 3 stations. Then multiply with this 92.01 and it works out to be 99.4 centimeter by normal ratio. See, the difference is almost 18 centimeters. 18 centimeter is 180 mm, and that's a huge rainfall if the area is very large. So normal ratio method is assumed to be a better because it takes the variations. Then the next method is inverse distance. See, this normal ratio method doesn't consider the aerial location of my rain gauge stations. So in this inverse distance method, you assume a graphical origin at the station where your data is missing. For example, in this case, the A is the station where rainfall is missing. Then you know what is the distance of this station from all the other rain gauge station. Find out square of the distance, right? The weighted square of a particular station is that particular station's inverse of the square of the distance to average of all the distances. Then multiply with the rainfall, then divide it by total number of rain gauges. These are all different methods, right? Any one method if you understand, that's very good. I have given this other sample example for this also. You can try this, right? So this is the first job we do whenever we get the rainfall data in hand. That is estimation of missing data. The second test what we do is called as consistency test. Consistency test is, suppose if there is a shift in the location of rain gauge station, still you are continuing the measurement, but there is a change in regime.